quite like occasionally doing drag shots where you have a long shutter speed and then kind of move the camera as you're taking it. So stay tuned for the drag shot. So I thought I'd have a go at the pan shot. So you've probably seen these. It's essentially what you do is as the shutter's open, you're moving the camera. And obviously you can do it horizontally or vertically, but for me it's a little bit arty. But you can get some nice effects, and in fact I've got one hanging on the wall of my office that I did of a sunset, and it's quite nice. But anyway, you've seen them about, I'm sure. But most important things, kind of a couple of things to get right is first and foremost is get your tripod level. So hopefully on your tripod there's a little spirit level. So I've got one here. I'm not sure you can see. Let's see, just there. Get your tripod level, because obviously when you're panning, you don't want your camera to be kind of moving at an odd angle. You can correct it in obviously Lightroom or Photoshop or whatever, but it makes life easier if you get that right. So get your tripod level, then get your camera level. So it's not the same thing having your tripod and the camera level. So one can be level and the other can be a bit wonky. So get your tripod level, then get your camera level. And the head on my tripod happens to have a 3-way spirit level, and I've sorted that out. Then you look at your kind of composition, and here I'm going to pan. So there's no obstacles. There's no groins or posts or anything. It's just sea and sky, and not really that important where you're focused, because obviously you're panning, so you'll get a blurred shot anyway. But I've gone to f22 to try and give me the longest shutter speed as possible. It's a bit, to be honest, it's a bit bright at the moment. But if it's a bit cloudier, in fact there's some clouds coming over, it might help. Or sunset or dawn work really well, because you get a longer shutter speed. And the process I use is make sure your tripod head is locked off in terms of the vertical movement and the kind of yaw, I suppose it's called. But then you want it loose on that movement, kind of the left-right movement. And all I do for situations like this, so on f22, it's given me just half a second, and all I'm going to do is hold my finger on the shutter, and as I press the shutter down, I'm going to start moving my camera, and then I'll press the shutter. So moving the camera, shutter's down, takes a shot, and it's spinning. So I'll do it a couple of times because it is a bit trial of error. So moving the camera, shutter's down, took a shot. Going to go one more go, moving the camera, shutter's down, took a shot, and I'm going to have a look at those. Yeah, actually. Yeah, not bad. So the camera's a little bit, it's a bit bright. Oh, that's actually quite like that one. It's a bit, the LCD on my camera's filthy, sorry. But there's one there, because what I've got is a combination of the waves and the clouds. So from the look of the screen, that one looks pretty decent. Half a second, probably not fast enough. I prefer to get to somewhere about a second, but that's not bad actually. So have a look at the others. Yeah, there might be one or two there, and it is trial and error, because getting your finger on when you're doing that technique. Normally, when I've got hand free, I'd actually use one hand on the shutter and the other hand just to move the camera. But obviously, I'm holding my other camera. So, but you'd aim to have your shutter open kind of when the camera is pointing straight ahead of you, because that's likely to give you kind of the best composition for those sort of things. You don't really want the camera over there panning, because you'll get, in this sort of circumstance, you'll get too much of the kind of the beach. So you really want kind of the camera about there when the shutter's open. So moving the camera, shutter was open when it's right in front of me. So let's have a look at that. Yeah, see, pretty decent. Quite. They are a bit arty-farty, but kind of that's how it is. It's really easy to do, but important things to remember is to get things straight before you start. Well, there you go. Hope you enjoyed that. Drag shots and a little bit of composition. The tide is actually So I've been here about an hour and a half and running out of sand. So, and once so you can see here, kind of, I walked along here, it's all gone. So once the sand's gone, it becomes kind of a rocky shore. So time to pack up and go. And I'll see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe. Look forward to your comments and see you soon. Bye.